trip? What did you do? Was this a stranger or someone that you knew? Like, did you ruin a family member's trip, your girlfriend's trip? But I also want to know what you mean by ruin. I just saw a TikTok of a guy freaking out because the oranges that the staff left in his room weren't organic, and that ruined his trip. So what do we mean by ruined? Because now I'm second guessing it. Like, no. Or did you really ruin a trip? Because if I spent all that money to go on vacation and someone actually ruined it, oh, I'd be mad. Happy apple picking day! Some really quick reminders for all of our new friends or returning friends who just need a reminder. If you want to transfer your stories to be featured on Am I the Bad Apple, you can send them to my subreddit, r/amithebadapple. And as a reminder, we all come from different branches of the apple tree. And what that means is we've all lived different lives and have different experiences. And sometimes when we hear these stories, we might internalize very different opinions because we have different experiences or don't understand the nuance to different situations because again, we just haven't lived them and that happens. We should never shame someone for just not knowing something or not experiencing something because no one wants to listen to a new perspective if they're just being yelled at. That's not how communication works. We just keep these things in mind as we're discussing down in the comments. So without further ado, let's get started with this week's episode of Am I the Bad Apple? Let's go apple picking! Apple number 1. Am I the bad apple for getting in the middle of an issue between my mother and girlfriend? My girlfriend works 12-hour overnight shifts from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. After work, she sometimes comes to my place to shower and sleep. She usually arrives around 8:15 in the morning. She'll take a quick shower by 8:30 and then we'll just crash for the day. She's always exhausted. Here's where the issue comes in. My mom's long-term friend who rents the basement complained to my mother that the sound of the shower at 8:30 always wakes him up. My mom passed the complaint along to me and asked if my girlfriend could just avoid showering until everyone's awake. I told my girlfriend and now she feels uncomfortable continuing to come over, which is understandable in my opinion. After working all night long, the last thing she wants is to feel like she's disturbing people by just taking a shower. And I'd want to shower after a 12-hour shift too. So she decided not to come over in the mornings anymore. She didn't cause drama or make a scene or anything. She just quietly adjusted. Later, I told my mom what my girlfriend decided and my mom was pissed. Not because of the shower, but because my girlfriend chose to stop coming over in the mornings. My mom insists that wasn't her intention, that she just asked her to delay the shower a little bit. But from our perspective, asking someone to not shower after a night shift pretty clearly sends a message that their presence is disruptive. Just for context, I also pay rent in this house. My mom's friend has lived there for years and also pays rent, and we all share the space. It's not like my girlfriend was being loud or unreasonable, just taking 5 to 10 minutes showers in the morning, which I think is pretty standard. Well, now my mom's mad at me and I feel like I handled it fairly. I passed the message along to my girlfriend, she made a calm and mature decision, and now somehow I'm in the middle. Am I the bad apple? Oh, hey! Oh my goodness, hello! The people have missed you. Guys, side note. Miss Vixie has been on a diet journey. We started this journey at 17.3 pounds, just a little bit more of her to love. No, you know, it's fine. We did it for her health, that's it. Because she's perfect the way she is always. And she's down to 14.6. You're doing so good, Miss Girly. So here's the deal. Yes, but like, okay, hold on. There are so many issues that I have with this story. The only person that I like in this story is the girlfriend. That's the only person. So like, I am going to go bad batch, but it's everybody except for the girlfriend. That's my decision. Isn't that right, Miss Girly? You're so pretty. So many issues. First of all, when you live in a shared space, you're going to notice other people living there. You just are, right? Whether it's, you know, you live in a house with your family or you have roommates, whatever the situation is, if you live with other people, I don't feel like you can be surprised when you just notice other people are alive. You know what I mean? Like if she was singing loudly in the shower, okay. If it was, you know, she was blaring music or someone was blaring music in the middle of the night, okay, those are things to complain about. But to complain that you hear a shower on, I think is kind of ridiculous. I personally believe that if you are living with other people and like your biggest complaint is, oh, I hear the shower, even if it's at 2 in the morning, if it's not that they're dropping things or bumping into the wall or, singing in the shower, whatever it is, if it's just simply you hear the water running, I personally feel like that's just life. I feel like that's a you problem personally. Like that's living with other people. And I understand that the girlfriend doesn't pay rent to be there, but I personally think that's just having roommates, Like for example, I know I said in a few episodes before, I don't know when I said it, but I know if you hang around a lot, you know that right now one of my best friends and her husband are staying in my guest room. Sometimes, I have alarms in my house, and every time one of the main doors opens, you hear it ding ding, it just does it. That's a part of my security system. And when they leave for work, sometimes if I'm in a light sleep, I will hear the ding ding. That's just having people stay with you. I don't even really think anything of it. I would never, hey, use a different door or delay when you're leaving for work. No, that's just living with people and those people in the shared space living their life. That's personally what I think living with people entails. You're going to notice them existing. And some people might have a different opinion on that. And that's fine. That's just my opinion on living with people. You're going to notice them existing. You're going to notice their guests existing. Because I know someone's gonna be like, well, she doesn't live there. You're gonna notice their guests existing, personally. That doesn't even cover the big glaring issue with the complaint that this shower is happening at 8:30 in the morning, 8:15 in the morning. It's not happening in the middle of the night. 8 o'clock is a reasonable time for a person to be getting ready for work in the morning. I understand that she works night, but if she worked during the day, a lot of people who work during the week who have conventional 9 to 5s, 8 to 4s, getting ready at 8 in the morning is a normal time that many human beings would be getting up and taking a shower and getting ready for work. So to say, oh, well, you can't take a shower 8 in the morning, that feels so unreasonable to me. So unreasonable, right? So for the person to complain about that in the first place, that's crazy to me. Second of all, for the mom to hear that complaint and think it's a legitimate complaint to pass along is wild. One, it's not even like she's making excessive noise, it's just the water running. Two, it's at a reasonable time in the day. When I first moved into this house and they were still building the other houses around, they started construction at 8 in the morning. I would hear the hammers and I would hear the drills and I would hear 8 o'clock is a normal time for people to start working. Over the weekend, I can hear people mowing their lawn at 8 in the morning before it gets too hot. This is a normal time for you to hear people existing around you. I think it's crazy that the mom even entertained that. And then to go to the son and be like, well, can she just shower later? She's been awake for 12 hours. Why does she have to wait longer? What time did you want her to wait until to go to sleep after a 12-hour shift? She was just awake all night. What time is a reasonable time? To hear that she felt like she was bothering people, and to hear that she would rather go to her own place and shower and go to bed immediately than to come over and sit around and wait, feeling gross from a 12-hour shift, and then go to bed whenever you deemed in an hour or two, and to be upset about that, that's just strange. That's weird. I don't like that. But then furthermore, for the boyfriend to hear, it bothers us, it's a nuisance when your girlfriend showers at 8:30, and then to hear, I'm offended that she decided to stop coming over. You didn't stand, you should have stood up for her in the first place. That never should have been relayed to her. Why are you relaying that message? That should have been nipped in the bud. I used it correctly that time. You said I used it correctly. I used to say nipped in the butt because I didn't know what it was, but I used it correctly that time. Be proud of me. For him to not bring up how ridiculous of a request that is, and to allow that message to make his girlfriend feel so uncomfortable where he lives, why are you not standing up for her? When it comes to your partner, in issues with your partner and your parent, you should be the middleman. Like, you should be handling that. So like, to even ask, well, am I the bad apple for getting in the middle? You should always be in the middle. You should always be the one mediating and figuring out and standing up for your spouse when you need to. So like, I think this whole thing is just odd. This is very odd for grown adults to just be in this space. And like, poor girlfriend, like, she's the only one in this story that I like. But that's my rationale for all of these things. Apple number 2. Am I the bad apple for allowing my daughter to flaunt her expensive things? I, 50 female, and my husband, 48 male, have a daughter, Dancia, 21 female. Dancia's been extremely independent her whole life. She began working when she was 15 and now works part-time for a large corporation while pursuing her studies. We're so proud of her and how hard she's worked. We generally allow her to manage her own finances. Like last year, for example, she wanted something more reliable and long-lasting for school. So when her laptop was on its last leg, she got herself the newest MacBook. Or even again, she got a Marc Jacobs bag for herself for work and university. Well, recently we went on a family trip with my brother and his family, who have 2 kids of their own, Tammy, 20 female, and Nick, 23 male. My brother's kids and Dancia aren't exactly close, but they get along and are fine for the most part. I know that Tammy and Nick do not have any source of income besides my brother and have never really worked a day in their life. During the trip, Dancia would occasionally pay for the 3 of them for small things like food or drink, and when they were shopping, Dancia bought a few items for herself and picked up some gifts that she wanted to bring back for her friends. During dinner that night, my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, told my husband and me that we were spoiling Dancia with way too much money for her purchases. We explained that Dancia earns her own money and every cent came from her job. My sister-in-law then proceeded to point out that if that was the case, Dancia shouldn't be flaunting her purchases and items in front of her cousins. They don't have cushy little office jobs and parents who spoiled them into the person they are today, insinuating that Dancia's spoiled. Dancia apologized politely, saying that she didn't mean to flaunt anything, but I could tell she was very upset and embarrassed. My husband stood up and shot back, saying that Dancia shouldn't have to apologize for her own hard-earned money. I also pointed out that Dancia had been financially independent since she was 15, and that doesn't really equate to being spoiled. My sister-in-law then proceeded to tell us that we weren't teaching her how to manage her finances correctly and that all this money had turned her into a little brat. Dancia excused herself to the bathroom and texted that she was going back to the hotel. We had a tense back and forth for the rest of dinner and came back to finding Dancia crying in her hotel room. I called my brother hoping that he would be able to talk to his wife, but he explained that for the last few days, Tammy had been crying to her parents about not having all the things that Dancia had. She'd been whining to her mom that she wanted the newest MacBook as well, and she wanted a fancy purse, but her mom refused to get them for her. Well, now we've all been getting calls from the rest of the family, some calling us jerks, and some who were willing to hear us out and understand where we were coming from, saying that my sister-in-law should just mind her business, or make her kids get jobs. Well, now I just need to know, am I the bad apple? Oh my God, the story, the sister-in-law, she sounds like people that are in my comment section, like all the time. I see Tammy's the daughter. I also see Tammy's in my comment section. I don't think they gave us a name, so we'll call her Susan. I see Susans in the comment section all the time. Your kid has more than my kid, and so that just makes you a bad person. And I don't care how you got it, and I don't care if you earned it, and I don't care if you deserve it, but you have it and my kid doesn't, and that makes you awful. That's what that sounds like. Imagine looking at someone who put in the work, has been working for them and to support themselves since they were 15 years old, and saying that because they have extra spending money because of their hard work, that they're a brat. Imagine telling someone that because they're taking their extra spending money and spending it on your child, that's not fair, because Tammy doesn't have that extra money, so she's spending it on your child and her friends, not even just for herself. She's spending it on other people. Oh my gosh, what a brat. What? Imagine your daughter coming to you and saying, oh my gosh, it's not fair that she has something that I don't. And instead of encouraging her, well, Dancia got it because she worked for it and she got it for herself. Imagine deciding that the better answer was to berate this young girl for the things that she worked for herself, instead of making your own daughter think about the fact that she doesn't work for the things that she has. And if she wants extra things than what you're willing to spend on her, maybe she can do what her cousin does and get a job. But no, that would mean taking accountability, and that would mean having to actually do something for yourself. We can't have that. Wild. Insane. And like, that entitlement exists. I see it in my comment section all the time. Like, someone, I kid you not, just yesterday, I saw someone in my comment section on Facebook having a whole tantrum about how, I kid you not, the words he used were teachers are scum, because when they go on strike, they advocate for themselves. And they don't go on strike for stuff for students, they only go on strike for stuff for themselves. Someone said that in my comment section. Yes, correct. Because don't you know, he as a parent shouldn't be the one advocating for his child. Someone else should be risking their job for his child instead of him. And they shouldn't be asking for things for themselves. Absolutely not. And that's why teachers are scum. Like, the entitlement that some people have is just wild. Like, it never ceases to amaze me. Never. I feel so bad for Dancia, and I'm so proud of you guys, the parents, for sticking up for her and like being so proud of what she's done for herself. Like, I love that. Because I know there are parents out there who would literally just appease to save face in front of family. Like, oh, Dancia, blah, blah, blah. And like later just be like, oh, we're just appeasing them. We're just, you know. But no, I commend you for standing up for her in front of the family and like calling the brother and demanding, hey, talk to your wife. Like, I think it's so important for, I say children, but like even grown kids. There is something that my dad, oh, I'm gonna start crying. I can already feel it just saying it. There was something earlier this year that my dad stood up for me to family members, and I was shocked, just shocked. Long story short, there was a family member that forgot my birthday and my dad was not having it and just called them out. And like, I didn't ask him to and I didn't need him to, but he was like, that's messed up. You should totally apologize for that. And oh my God, I'm gonna start crying. I didn't need anyone to do that. I didn't expect anyone to do that, but he just did because it was important to him. And it just like, it's important for your kids to know that when you need them, like, they will always have your back and they will always, I'm gonna start crying. I need to move on from this point. But anyways, I'm going good apple for these parents, allowing her to flaunt. She didn't flaunt anything. That's not what's happening here. So good job. I think you've clearly done very great with your child, and you're still doing great with your child. Even though she's grown, she still needs you and you're there for her. And I love that. So that's a W. Apple number 3. Am I the bad apple for choosing my job over my girlfriend? I, 25 female, am in a pretty tight situation in my industry where there's a lack of work opportunities and I have to scramble and compete with my own co-workers to get an assignment. Gigs are first come, first serve in my company, and this season's been at an all-time low. I basically plan to take my girlfriend, 24 female, on a yes day for her birthday this Sunday, because we're both broke graduate students and we both work so much during the week that we barely get to see each other. We're both in doctoral schools in different fields, and she works all week and so do I. I also work on the weekends about 1 to 2 per month, depending on the volume of work, so the little time we have together on weekends, we really cherish. Essentially, she has nighttime plans with her girlfriends on Saturday for her birthday, as well as plans with her family during the day, which I made a point to attend and make sure not to work so that I could be present with her family. However, I recently got an offer to take on a project that would not only help me meet my quota for the week, but would also guarantee a stable day of work per week if I accept, but would go to another coworker if I didn't start right away, which would be this weekend. I ended up having to tell my girlfriend that the yes day wouldn't be able to happen this weekend, but we could try to rain check as soon as possible, and I promised to make it up to her. She's been so sad, and she kind of shut down and isn't really wanting to talk to me. I don't want to blame her or tell her how to feel, but I just wish she would be more understanding, as I don't just have to support myself, I also have to support my family back home due to some health issues my parents are experiencing. Like, I need this money. It's not that I don't want to spend the day with her. I would walk to the ends of the earth just to see her smile. I just also have to weigh my options and consider that there are other people counting on me, and trying to please her in this circumstance would take away an opportunity for me to make that income. So am I the bad apple for choosing my job over her? What? We're in our 20s, right? Like that says 25 female. A few initial thoughts. First of all, we're like adults. We're in our 20s. We should be at the point in life where we realize our birthdays are not national holidays. Like you're doing something big with your friends and then you're doing something big with your family. It shouldn't feel like the end of the world if 1 out of your 3 birthday celebrations is getting postponed. And it's not like the partner isn't gonna be at the other celebrations. Just the one of just the 2 of you is getting postponed. So they're still celebrating your birthday, just the one of just you 2 is not when it was originally planned for. And I can see being bummed out if something that you were looking forward to has to get postponed. I think that's valid. That can happen. That's normal. I personally feel like if my partner was struggling to find consistent work and then got an opportunity for consistent work, like that's what I would be focused on. That's what I would be so excited about. Like, oh my God, yay, this is great. We are struggling college kids. I understand, because it said they were both in that boat. I feel like I would be like, oh my God, I understand the struggle bus, right? I'm so excited you're getting this more consistency. Yeah, you need that. This is great. I feel that would be my focus. But I still think that being bummed that something that you were looking forward to isn't happening, and that's fine. But I don't like that. To punish your partner for making sure they can pay their bills, and I'm including the family stuff because that's a part of their bills. Don't love that. Don't love that. If they're in a tight financial situation and you're punishing them for making sure that their ends are meeting, don't love that. I don't love that at all. And it's not even being canceled. It's just postponed. What are you so upset about? Like in my family, because I'm very privileged that, you know, my parents live 15 minutes down that way and my brother lives 20 minutes down that way. We're all very close. When it's someone's birthday, so like my dad's birthday's coming up, right? My dad's birthday's coming up in August and he wants to do a beach weekend. And we all got stuff going on. That means we obviously can't go on his birthday because people work during the week, right? And then we're going around, you know, my brother's work schedule and when I have to go and do recording trips, and then my brother's girlfriend has her PhD program. We're all busy and no one thinks anything of it. We just want to spend time together, so no one's upset that we're gonna do it either the end of the month or maybe even in September. And that's fine because it's still happening. We're just making sure that we can all get our stuff done and have fun together when we can. Or like even when our birthdays, you know, when we're not doing a trip and we're just doing a dinner, we still don't always do it on the day. A lot of times we'll just wait till the weekend till everyone's available so that everyone can be together. Is that not normal? Do people not do that? Because I feel like this is a very entitled, like, but it's not the actual birthday weekend. Who cares? Like, I feel like that is kind of entitled. To feel like your partner has to put celebrating your birthday on this particular weekend over being able to pay your bills, I think that's really toxic. Personally, not a fan of that. So for the OP, I'm going good apple for sure. It's like, it would be one thing if you were just like going to a sporting event or going shopping with a friend, but like you're going to ensure that you can survive and pay your bills and like help pay for your family's medical stuff. If your partner cares more about their 3rd birthday celebration being at a specific day than you making your ends meet, maybe they don't support you as much as you support them, you know? Apple number 4. Am I the bad apple for ruining this woman's vacation? I, 21 female, am a Bulgarian tour guide who accompanies groups to Sicily. On a recent trip, one woman who is traveling alone in her mid-30s was constantly oversleeping. The first day after we arrived, we had a day trip to Etna for which we departed at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. is when we depart for all of our tour days. I make sure that all the tourists are informed of the departure times on the bus the day beforehand, and I also give them my number in case they have questions or forget something or are running a little late, just so that they can contact me. They also have printed out pamphlets with the schedule made by the travel agency that has all the departure times on it. Everyone in our group was always on time except for this one woman. The first time she was late by 10 minutes, which Okay, maybe she got caught up or something and was a little late. I excused it. I also mentioned to the whole bus and the mic that we don't really tolerate lateness beyond 15 minutes at most in case of emergency, like a forgotten possession. But I must always be called and informed of someone being late. We can't just be hanging around willy-nilly forever. Other than that, the day trip went fine. The next day, the same woman was late again by 25 minutes. Almost a whole half an hour. I called her twice to no answer, and we were just about to leave without her when she came running to get on the bus. She was lucky because the receptionist at the hotel was asking me about a missing piece of info, and that's the only reason we waited so long for her, is because I had to fix that. I reminded everyone on the bus again that I will not be waiting anymore for late tourists in the morning. Waking up on time is their responsibility. We're all adults. You gotta be responsible for yourself. When we came back that evening, she came up to me and even asked if I could make sure to wake her up on time. I reminded her I'm not responsible for waking people up, that everybody gets a printed itinerary with departure times, and I announce everything the day before. She literally just kept saying, no. Just knock on my door if I'm not out by 8:15. I said, no. I can't do that for everybody. Please set an alarm. Well, the next day, we were visiting Syracuse and she didn't show up. I waited 15 minutes after the allotted departure time and called her twice with no response. I just left with the bus and the rest of the group. We weren't waiting forever, and I had no idea to know when she would actually come out. An hour later, she called me in panic, asking where we were. An hour later! I explained the situation. I waited 15 minutes. You didn't show up. Everyone else wasn't gonna miss out on their excursion because she couldn't be there on time. She got angry and said that I had one job and that I cheated out of her money that she paid to go on the trip. She missed the entire day of the tour and was furious the next day, but she was on time. Later, I heard that she told the rest of the group that I abandoned her, and she also called my agency, leaving a bad review about me. Should I have just gone to her room and woken her up like she asked me to? Am I the bad apple for ruining her trip and her vacation despite telling her I wasn't going to go to her room and wake her up? Am I the bad apple? No. Do you remember when we talked about entitlement earlier in this episode? Here's another Susan. Imagine, like, I'll be honest. I'm gonna be so vulnerable with you guys for a second, and my friends that know me in real life are gonna hear this and be like, we know I have ADHD. When I don't take my Adderall, like, I have the worst time blindness, okay? I don't mean to, I just do. It's so hard, okay? If I don't take Adderall, they know I'm gonna be like 5 minutes late for trivia, maybe even sometimes 10. I don't mean to, it's so hard. That's why I have the Adderall. That's why I got the Adderall. Not always, just like if I'm recording and I just, time blindness, you know, it happens. But I'm not the powerhouse of trivia anyways. That's Corey and Jacob. I'm more the sidekick, so they don't need me. It's fine. Except for that one time where the round was Disney questions. They totally needed me then. And I aced it. We did it. But I digress. I can't imagine being like consistently 15 minutes late to something like that. Like when it comes to that stuff, I'm so obsessed about not being late because I love, like, it's the history nerd in me, you know? Like, 30 minutes early. I don't want to miss the bus. I know myself, and if I don't allot for that 30 extra minutes, I'm gonna be late. Sarah's rehearsal dinner, oh my gosh, it was in the mountains. It was like a 2-3 hour drive. I left an hour early and had an emergency in the middle of it and got into horrible traffic. I ended up spilling coffee like all over me. Someone like cut me off on the road and I got coffee all over my dress, and I had to stop at a store while the car was charging, find a dress in my size that wasn't white. Oh my gosh, if I didn't allot for that extra time, oh my gosh, I'm glad I did. You coming to snuggle again? Hi. Like in circumstances where I've had issues with time blindness and being a little late. First of all, an hour and a half, that's so crazy. That is crazy. Half an hour, wild. Well, swap them. Like half an hour is crazy. An hour and a half or an hour, whichever one. I had issues figuring out if it was an hour after departure time or an hour after he already waited the 25 minutes. But it doesn't matter. Wild. I've never ever blamed the people who were waiting on me for me being late, like ever. There was one time when I was going to a movie with some friends and they told me the initial information over Discord, but then texted me other information over text. And the initial invitation said, we're going to this movie theater. And I didn't realize that over text, they changed the movie theater. So that one I was like, hey, that was confusing. That's the closest I ever got. Can't even imagine as a grown adult telling another grown adult, you didn't hold my hand, and that's why I'm making everybody 30 minutes late. How dare you? You abandoned me. I'm just so speechless that happened. Like, it doesn't surprise me at all. It's one of those things that I can't believe that happened, but I believe it because I've seen and heard so many crazy things at this point. Like, I'm kind of speechless. I don't even know what to say about that level of just pure entitlement. It just, wow. Just wow is all I can really say. If your boss doesn't support you, I hate her. I just want that to be known, that when, I know you said she called your boss, so if your boss doesn't support you in this, I hate her. That's just how it is, because you're a good apple. You didn't single her out the first 2 times. You just didn't want to embarrass her or anything. You just obviously everyone knew who you were talking about, but you didn't sit and berate that woman in front of people. I think that's very respectable and polite. You then reminded her, hey, here's where you can find the times, but like, I can't come to your room. Fair, valid. She's a grown woman in her 30s. She shouldn't need you to do that. And it's not your job. You're a tour guide. You don't even work at the hotel. Like, if she wants the hotel to call her and give her a wake-up call, okay, but that's not your job. You had one job. It's not going to your room. And you keep calling her phone when she's late to check on her and she can't be bothered to answer? No, I think you went above and beyond personally. That's a good apple from me. And anyone who doesn't think that, I think is a little bit of a Susan. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Check your privilege, check your entitlement a little bit. So, I got 3 good apples and a bad bat. At least that's what I got. I would love to know if you got anything similar or different down in the comment. And as always, if you want a chance for your stories to be featured in Am I the Bad Apple, you can send them to my subreddit, r/AmITheBadApple. And for your well wishes today, it is National Climb a Mountain Today, it is National Cheesecake Day, and it's National Father-in-Law Day. So, if you've got a father-in-law that is awesome and wonderful, make sure to text them and tell them that you love them and appreciate them. I don't have one of those anymore. And I'm not interested in climbing a mountain. Nope, not for me. Especially in this heat, in this economy, in this heat. We got heat advisory. It's like over 100 degrees where I am. No. Cheesecake sounds like a win for me today. Also, let me know in the comments which day you're celebrating. But for me today, it's cheesecake. Maybe I will go get a slice from the Cheesecake Factory. My go-to over there is the tuxedo cheesecake. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and hope to see y'all next week. Bye, my lovelies. Mwah.